Although the final score did not end up in the Wildcats' favor, the bright spot was the 9th double-double of the season for junior forward Pallas Akpana, whose journey began over 6,000 miles away from Evanston in Abuja, Nigeria. After falling in love with the sport of basketball, she moved to Georgia to hone her skills for the next level.
I was born in Port Harcourt in Rivers State. So it's a city on the coast. We have we're known for our seafood essentially. So I grew up eating lots of crabs, lots of snails. So that was nice. And then at the age of 6, I moved to the big city, the capital, Abuja, which is where my family currently resides. I lived there until I was 14, 15. Then I moved to the States for high school. It didn't take too long for me to settle in because I'd already been kind of away from my family a little bit back at home. I was put in boarding school at the age of 10, so I had already kind of gotten used to not seeing my parents all the time and not seeing my siblings, but it definitely was different.
For any teenager, moving halfway across the world can be daunting, but those differences helped her grow and ultimately assisted her in discovering the sport at which she would excel.
I started pretty late, actually. I had played a bunch of sports before basketball. I always knew I was athletic, so my parents put me in tennis for a little bit. I did track and field and secondary school. Found my way into basketball because people kept saying I was tall, so I should try it out. And got into it. I wasn't really good at first. I didn't have any formal training or anything like that. In high school, when I was attending high school in Georgia, I got there and I was the tallest girl on campus. So that was I was already used to that, being the tallest girl, but just every single team I would go to, they immediately put me on the varsity. And I was like, I don't know if I'm good enough. I've never played this before, and they were just, you could play it. Being able to play with them in the varsity team and compete with them, and come up with some pretty good numbers, I started to think, maybe I do belong here. Maybe this is something that I can do.
Her teammates and coaches agree she has the talent to dominate in the Big Ten, and the only place she has to go is up.
Yeah, Pallas, we just saw the potential. I think, with her, it was enormous. She chased down every loose ball, every rebound. It was, and she still does. And I think it was more the physical presence that she has, the quickness, the ability to, the strength, and I think, her willingness to want to get better that we saw in her. Because a lot of players have physical skills, but they just kind of flow through their careers because they don't have the drive to become a better player, and Pallas has that.
In November, that drive led to one of the greatest performances in Northwestern women's basketball history, when Kunai Akpana scored 27 points and grabbed 21 rebounds in a win over Oakland, becoming just the third Wildcat to record a 20-20 game.
Off her hand, but then she collects back and finds Pulliam, who pulls from the mid-range, misses, but who else but Kunai Akpana with the rebound, misses one chance, and then puts it in with the foul. She's everywhere.
No answer from the Grizzlies for the two bigs down low for Northwestern. Pallas, Kunai Akpana, and Abby Scheid, each 5 of 10 from the floor, 13 points each. Kunai Akpana chipped in 13 more rebounds, a dominating first half by the Wildcats.
That game was something I didn't expect it to happen. I wasn't coming out thinking, okay, I'm gonna play really well today and all that. I wasn't really thinking about it. I just played my game. And I think all the hard work that the coaches have made us put in, and what I put in on my own, really showed in that game. Because when you're not thinking too much, all the stuff you practice tends to come out. So I think that was just something that is kind of like a hard work pays off type of situation.
Kunai Akpana, another rebound. She's now got 23 points and 20 boards, a monster performance.
The rebounding is just the same thing I do every day. I go up. No one can jump besides me on the court, so I go up and I grab it, and Yeah, I wasn't really thinking anything. I felt like, I felt like I was getting a lot of points, which, I don't know. that was new for me, but yeah, nothing really felt super different for me that day.